Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, comes you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is Wednesday, and the Fed just raised interest rates by 0.75%, and actually it was a dollar, which is very interesting considering things. But we're gonna see some numbers come out tomorrow, and who knows what's going to happen there. But just tough market to trade. I'm basically, totally in cash right now. Well, actually, that's not true. I do have two shorts, and I do have one small position that I'm looking to liquidate. But I am just about 98% in cash right now, and just really, just looking to see how the winds are going to blow. I'm just really not confident anyway, either up or down. I do think that we are likely to get somewhat of a pullback. Who knows? But let's take a look first at the S&P 500 and just kind of take a look, kind of see how see how that shit. Let's take a first look at the Nasdaq, and this is of course the Nasdaq Composite, and it did trade up today. Very interesting thing to see here that it did trade up. It came right down to the it came right down to the 50-day line, and then it did trade up today on the news to about 1200. The question is, will it continue up from here? I have my doubts based on some of the reports. Now, interestingly enough, Microsoft had a pullback yesterday, but it's up today. So let's take a look at Microsoft just really quickly, because this kind of is a very key at least for the Nasdaq. And as you can see, we pulled down here to about 250, and then today it's closed way up here at about almost at 270, 267. So interesting, kind of quite a reversal for Microsoft. Also, we did have some good news on some of the other ones, but there is some. There has been some strength in the techs going forward. I'm just not ready to commit to anything, but there were some good reports. Qualcomm, QCOM had some good numbers that came forward, and that has made a move up to the 50-day line. I really don't like, again, as you know, I'm not really a fan of buying anything below the 50-day line. We're still below the 50-day line, but just barely. And the numbers look pretty good on Qualcomm. So a lot of action in the semiconductor fabless area. But again, this is an underperforming area of the market. So, just not really, I don't think necessarily where you want to be in the market right now. Excuse me. But interesting market overall. Let's just get into some of the questions. Thanks for holding out here, and let's see where we're going first. Let's take a look at from Sarah. Thank you very much. Let's look at the Qs, QQQ, and this is the Invesco Nasdaq 100. And it has definitely shown some strength, off a little bit after hours, but along with all of the other with the Nasdaq, it is moving up here. I don't, again, it does have a relative strength of 45 with a relative strength line that's moving up, but I am really concerned here. I am not ready to jump right back into the market. I think that we're going to have some numbers that come out tomorrow, and if they come out well, I think it's good. But I don't think a 0.75%. I don't think the 0.75% rise in interest is going to do very much about inflation. Consumer prices have been raging, and I think that they're likely to go even higher. I think this is just basically to kind of calm down the bond market. That's all I think is going on right now. But who knows? I mean, I'm not an expert in this at all. So, but the Invesco QQQ Trust, would I invest in this now? No, I would probably stay. I would probably stay out of it right now. All right, let's look at Arthur's Standards Midland ADM, and that, of course, is one of the largest food producers in the world. I definitely think, we're going to see a lot A lot of interest in that area as the food prices go higher. This one might actually be something that you could buy. I'm going to draw a reversal line here. And one of the things that's interesting about this reversal line, we're right below it. But if we were to put an alert on that reversal line, as you can see, if it comes above that, then I think we can, we might be able to move into it. I do like this area, even though it's 114 out of 149, 197. I do think there's going to be increased demand, obviously, for grains, and I think we're going to really start to see the food supplies hit at about September. That's when it's very likely that we're going to see some very, very tight food markets. So I definitely think you could probably make a move on this one. I would try to, if it moves above about 81, 82, that might be a place that you could start building a position. But I wouldn't build one now just because it has moved up quite quickly, and I think it's going to probably pull back a little bit to the 21-day line or possibly the 50-day line, and then continue to make its move up. But it's a good stock, but I would be very cautious, very, very cautious here on this one. Let's look for Troy on CCL. Just kind of take analyze that. See what we've got with Carnival. Wow, it's $8 a share. Boy, you know what? Wow, I don't really like this. I mean, this is already in a downward trend, and we had a bounce there. That would have been a very good place to short it right here as it came up to the 50-day line. I mean, obviously, I don't think this is going to go to zero, but I can't see it. I don't think this one's reversed. I think it's still moving lower. I mean, this could be a $3 stock. I mean, literally, this could literally be a $3 stock. I would just be really, really careful. Taking a look at the weekly chart here, I mean, we've come off the bottom. Maybe we've come off the bottom, but I still think we're moving lower on this one. Currently, it's at $8.79, and I think this could be a $3 stock. There's definitely, this last week there was quite a bit of selling going on. Boy, I mean, yes, their sales are up definitely because they haven't had any sales. But look at this cash flow, negative $4 a share, price to earnings ratio. I just can't see it. I just don't think that people are going to be that excited in investing in stocks that are going to lose money. And this one's going to lose money next quarter. There's no question about it. I mean, the sales are going to be up on this one, but this one's a money loser. So I wouldn't be interested in investing in a money losing stock in this kind of environment. I think cash is king, and I mean, some people will invest in Carnival, but looking at the fundamentals here, the company's losing money. I mean, yes, it may come back to profitability, but it probably won't be for like 2 years. Now, if you're willing to wait that long, and you're willing to take a risk of a bankruptcy, that might work for you. But here's the problem with a company like Carnival. There is a distinct possibility that we could get a bankruptcy here, and I don't think there's a bailout on the horizon because I think that the entire market is going to still move lower, and I think there's just a limit. So I wouldn't be a buyer of Carnival here. I just wouldn't be a buyer of Carnival. All right, let's look at Amazon. Thanks, that Alpha 511. Let's look at Amazon, AMZN, and take a look and see how they're doing. A little bit of a pullback after ours, but the question is, has it reversed? It's still trading below. Again, I'm not particularly excited about this stock right now because it is trading below. It's below the 30-month line on the monthly chart. That's what I'm looking at here. There's a real issue when it comes to a stock like this because, I mean, it's a great stock. Don't get me wrong. I've ordered tons of stuff from Amazon. I don't think they're going away, but I think that the fact that they're trading below that 30-day monthly moving average, I want to see a reversal, and I don't think this is enough for a reversal. I mean, it has had a fairly good month, but I don't think this is a reversal yet. So I just wouldn't be interested in buying it until we saw it, move. I'm going to go over here to the daily chart. I really think that buying it below that 200-day line is just it's just not good. I think we've got to wait longer. The 200-day line will continue to move down, and when it moves above that 200-day line, then I think I can get more excited about it. For right now, I think um, with Amazon, I think you just have to it's one of those it's one of those things where you just have to watch and wait. I think you really just have to watch and wait for this one. It just doesn't look. I can move that over there. Okay. Yeah, I think you just have to watch and wait on this one, and let it go for now. It just doesn't look that strong, and I know it's Amazon, but buying it under the 50-day line, 200-day line, I think you got to wait until it moves, until the 200-day move, the 200-day line moves lower. All right, we look at Carnival Cruise. Mr. Cheat wants to look at ARLP. Let's look at that. ARLP. And let's see, Alliance Resource Partners, coal. Boy, $21. I just don't know enough about these coal stocks. One thing I do know, though, is that commodities are probably going to do better. It is above the 200-day line. I do like that, above the 50-day line, and it is making a new high. So even though it's extended, the correct buy point is 1961 on this one, and this is ARLP, Alliance Resource Partners Limited Partnership. Even though it's above that, here's the thing: is I think that we are going to see some continued demand for coal, especially from Europe, because they're learning that they're not going to be able to use their natural gas plants because of Russia. But I still think I'm still a little bit leery. This is extended, so I wouldn't buy it. So that's just my opinion on it right now. I just have to say, it's just time to to wait on this. You might want to start with a quarter position. I could definitely possibly see that. I could definitely possibly see starting with a quarter position here, but I think in general, I would not be in this one just because this market is, it's not that forgiving, and you don't want to buy it extended. Currently, it's extended. All right. NOG, I had it when it was $3. All right, let's look at NOG, Northern Oil and Gas. And this is obviously an oil stock. And there we go. All right, it's 27 when I had it when it was 3. That's incredible. Basically, the situation is we've come off the bottom. This is a nice reversal, and I do think that we're not quite at the buy point. I definitely like buying it here under the buy point. If we draw the reversal line here, that is a potential. You could buy above that reversal line. Currently, we're above the reversal line. So with Northern Oil and Gas, I like this one a lot better. It's 20 out of 197. I do like it where it's sort of coming off the bottom here with the 96 relative strength. I think you can buy this one, if you're willing to. I'm probably not going to be with you here with buying it, but I definitely think this is viable. I think this is definitely viable. Oops. So NOG is viable, and it's viable now, which is amazing because I've been very stingy about that. But well, God, you just won't. I'm not. All right. Well, I can't seem to get it. No, it just doesn't want to let me I'm having bandwidth issues again. In a few days, I'm gonna have better bandwidth than I have now, hopefully. But I'm still having issues with that. But NOG is viable now. So I definitely think you could buy you could buy this. It's nice reversal, came down, and then now it's moving up. So I definitely think this is a good reversal. It's above the 200-day line. It's in a good group, and I think you can probably get a little bit of juice out of it. I think this probably will run up to the pivot, which is about 30.44 right here, and then move past that. So I definitely think that Northern Oil and Gas is viable. Let me put that down on the list because I want to make sure I'm keeping track of these. NOG is viable. All right, and I definitely think this one is viable. All right, let's take a look. Oh, Align. This is interesting. This is probably a good short. This is the company that did the orthodontic stuff, ALGN. It was a big stock there for a few minutes. It's at $256. Wow, I think this one's shortable. It's got it's got a zero. This is interesting. I'm amazed that it's held up in this well. I think this one's shortable. Yeah, relative strength is 10. This is shortable. This is definitely shortable. So I'm going to put ALGN is shortable. So I definitely think that's the case here. Relative strength is 10. We have a declining relative strength line. It looks like it's below all the major indexes. Yeah, it's well below the 200-day line. It's well below it's right at the 50-day. This is a good place to short it. It's at the 50. It did look like it was up significantly, and then it's down in after hours. This tells me that there was some kind of short squeeze going on here. I can't imagine this being a very good stock. Let's look at their sales. Well, they're up 9%. Yeah, they're starting to their sales are starting to come down. Look at that. We have decline in profitability. The PE ratio is 26. It was actually fairly good. But it looks like return on equity, not bad. Cash, it does have a cash flow. That's interesting. There's always going to be misaligned teeth, and I think they do have an advantage in that field. But I think this one's shortable. To be honest with you, I think this one's going lower. And the question is, how much lower? I don't know, but I definitely think this one in the next 3 months is probably going to be a lot cheaper than it is now. So that one might be something to look at. It's in the medical products area, which is a good area. But I have a feeling this one is going down. So I would say this one's shortable. I would say this one's definitely shortable. And there's a lot of ways you can short it. I don't like to buy this. I don't usually do the shares unless it's on an index like the QQQ. I typically like to do puts, and I like to do bear put spreads because it limits you in case you get into trouble on the upside. That's happened to me a few times. So I think this definitely is a short. And it may be at the bottom. I don't think this is at the, well, I can see where you would say that. Here's the thing. I want to, if it moves up decisively, see, here's the thing. It's sold off, but on heavy volume, and it's continuing to sell off. The question is, let's look at this 60-minute chart here. I don't know if this is at the bottom. I doubt this is at the bottom. I really do. I think this has lower to go. It does look like it kind of has this L pattern. See, that's kind of what I've been looking for. Yeah, right there, and then across here. So I do think this is a shorting pattern. I mean, it's sort of been moving along here. I definitely think it could move lower, And the question is when and where. Well, I think if there might be, and I think there's people getting short squeezed here. So I think it is possibly. I don't think it's necessarily at the bottom. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. All right, let's take some questions from TikTok. Thank you very, very much. Let's see. Hi, Jim. What do you think about Tesla? And this is coming from user 498-758-150-1925. So let's look at Tesla. The question is Tesla bottomed, or is it ever going to, what's the situation? And Tesla's moving up nicely. There is some resistance at 900. If it can move above 900, I might be interested. Now, here's the thing about Tesla that is interesting here, and that is that it has moved above the 50-day moving average, which is good. It's reversed to higher. It's still below the 200-day moving average, but it looks as if the 200-day moving average is flattening out. Now, if it was cooling down, you probably want to wait, but this potentially could be a reversal. In this market though, I'm just not really excited about jumping in, with both feet, because I still think that until it moves above 900, which is basically the pivot, I don't know. I don't know. So would I buy it here? Probably not. I mean, they've had some very, very good earnings, and it is moving along. But I just think we're going to get another pullback in this market. I think we're very, very likely to get another. I think we're very likely to get another pullback in this market. So I would just be super careful here. But definitely worth. Definitely worth it. All right, so let's look at VET. That's Vermilion, and that's also an oil company. And that actually is a very nice formation. Taking a look at it, I mean that is a very, very nice formation. Cup without handle, but it's not extending too quickly. I like that. It's below the buy point. 99 relative strength. Earnings in 15 days. Well, that's really looking good. Yeah, I think that's a winner. I think that's viable. So I like that one on the pattern rack. So I do like Vermilion. I like VET. So I kind of like that one. I definitely kind of like Vermilion. So I definitely think Vermilion is viable. Would I buy a big position? Probably not, just based on this market. So VET is viable, and that's definitely something that you could put out there. So that definitely looks pretty darn good. It looks pretty good. All right, let's take a few more, and then we'll be done. Let's look at the spider. Not a whole lot today, but let's look at the spider. SPY. And take a look to see what's going on here. We had this. The question is, has it moved? Has it changed character and reversed? I don't think it has. I think we're going to see a movement lower tomorrow on the spider. That's just kind of what I'm seeing here. It is in this consolidation from here. That's the low of it to here, and it has come down, and then it's bounced once here. It came up, bounced, came down, bounced. I think it's very likely to go like this when we see the numbers tomorrow. I don't think the numbers are going to be that great tomorrow. And I think we have to be really careful there because I would not be a buyer of the spider right now. I do think it's likely to move lower, lower than it is right now. It's just, yeah, it's just, I just don't think it's really looking all that great. All right, finance fund. All right, this is NEM. Let's take a look. NEM. And Newmont. Wow, great mining company. But boy, look at it, look at look at it come down. Unfortunately, I have some bad news for you. This has the death cross on it. And what that means is that this is probably going to go lower. You have a relative strength line, which is kind of this blue line kind of interspersed here. And it's underperforming the S&P 500. Let me just show you this. This is not a stock you want to be in. So let's take a look and compare it with some of the other stocks out there. So let's compare Newmont. Newmont with the S&P 500, which is basically the spider. So let's compare it. As you can see, if you started out with $100 here, if you were in the spider, you would have you would be about $7 lighter. But unfortunately, you would be about $25 lighter with Newmont mining. So here's the thing with Newmont, just not something you want to buy. So I would be real careful with it. So I think that NEM, which is a great company. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're going out of business, but I don't think it's a good place to buy it here. So NEM is in a decline, and that is bad because I actually owned this a few months ago, and I thought it was going to turn around and move higher, but it's really in a decline. And I think that against something like even the spider, if this isn't outperforming the spider, you don't want to touch it, especially in this market. Let's kind of take a look at what we want to touch. I think kind of, the baseline for everything is the spider. So I'm going to put that up again. And I want to take a look at one that was recently suggested, and that is Vermilion. And I want to show you the difference here. And I think this is it. This is indicative. This is the spider here. Okay. Now, if we were to put an oil company in there that's doing fairly well that we just talked about, Vermilion, as you can see, there's no comparison. The spider, Vermilion has done better than the spider in the last year by 350%. So I still think that if you can buy some of these if you could buy some of these commodity stocks on the pullback, you're probably going to be doing better. I mean, it's just probably very likely. So let's look at VET again. That's a really good suggestion, by the way. The question is it at a pullback yet? Well, it was way down here. Take it out a year ago. It was way down here and below $10 land. We don't really buy down there, but it does look like we're coming up to a higher high. So this one actually, I think this is probably going to go higher. I think it's going to go higher. So I still think that even though we've had this raise in interest rates, oil is still in demand. Oil is still in demand. Let's look at the VET and Exxon Mobil. I want to kind of take a look at that. This is Vermilion, which we talked about, which is a driller, which is a smaller company. And here's a little bit safer company called Exxon Mobil, of course, and everybody's heard of that one. But even Exxon Mobil has done extremely well over the last year. It's up 50% over the year. Now Vermilion's up 350%. So I mean, it's up 250%. So that's even better. But the right sector still, I believe, is the oil and gas. I want to take a quick look at the rankings here just to see, because that's kind of where we have to live here. And let's see, go to the rankings of the sectors, and I'm going to look at let's look at the best groups 3 months ago. Right. Yeah. Okay, 3 months ago, energy coal was number one, chemicals, agricultural, oil and gas royalty trust. Let's see if we got some other ones here. The international E&Ps. This is the one that has really been pretty stable. International E&Ps. Let's just take a look and see if there's anything that's set up here. And I think this one has come off the bottom, moving nicely. So this is kind of where we probably want to look for things if we want to go long. I'm not long anything right now, but right now the top stocks in this area, Valco, yeah, I had this one, ConocoPhillips. Let's get and let's look at Conoco, COP. One might be set up. You don't have it, but yeah, it's starting to make a reversal. This one might be a good bet as well. ConocoPhillips, 95 relative strength. Yeah, it's just looking really strong. I mean, yes, we did have the pullback in the price of oil, but I still think that we're going to be very, very. We're going to be looking at that. All right, let's look at Ford. That's probably going to be our last stock tonight, and that's Ford. And that I think did take quite a bit of a hit here. Yeah, no, it's up a little bit after hours, $14. I can't get excited about this stock. It's just been on this downward trend, and maybe it's doing a reversal here, but I just don't see it. I don't see this one getting much better. So I would have to say I would pass. Oops, I would pass on Ford. Yeah, I had great hopes for them, but they just don't seem to be able to get their act together. And this is a tough market. I mean, mind you, I mean, this is not, this hasn't been the easiest market for cars. I mean, Tesla has been doing well, but aside from that, I think it's really, really tough. So I think you just got to pass on it. It does not look good. All right, let's see if we have any more questions before I sign off today. And let's see. Oh, hey, good. Oh, okay. We have several. Let's see. Regeneron, REGEN. Let's look at that. We will get it this time. There we go. Regeneron Pharmaceuticals. There we go. Yeah. Hate to tell you this, but this is in a downward trend. We did come up, but we haven't moved above the reversal line. The trend on this is down. Unfortunately, it's below the 200-day line. I just think you have to avoid it. I just think you have to avoid this one. So I would avoid REGN. I think you got to avoid it. It's just in a downward trend. So it's not something you want to take a look at. Okay, well, thank you very, very much, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, at the same time, 5. Hope everyone is doing well out there. I'm pretty much all in cash, trying to find good entry points. I still think we're going to take another leg down here. I would be very, very careful about the market right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Argin. I'm sorry. I am sorry about that. Let me look at Argin. RGE. Let's see what that we've got. Okay. Develops consumable bioproducts. I don't know this company. 205. Well, it's definitely come up to the 200-day moving average. That's interesting. Relative strength 90. Earnings in 6 days. The question is, has it? Let's look at the fundamentals on it and see if there's anything there that I can show you. Wow, look at that! Nice profit action. $4. Wow. Yeah, you know what? It's a little bit high on the PE ratio, but yeah, that's possibly viable if you look at the weekly chart. Yeah. So yeah, I think that might be viable actually. Believe it or not. Interesting. It's up $3 today. Wow. Okay. Well, possibly viable. Um, it probably will pull back a little bit. That's the only thing. 89 checklist. Very good. So it's pattern wreck. We're $10 before the pivot. So yeah, I think that is viable. Interesting. Yeah. So I think yeah, I think that one might be viable. So again, I'm not that good in bios, but I think it is viable. I wouldn't go in with more than about a quarter position though in this market, but oops, I definitely think that it is viable. So that's very interesting. Very interesting there. So, let's look at comments. Palantir. and I was buying this one. I mean, I had this one for a while. PLTR. This has been kind of, I don't know. It's $10 stock now. The question is, can it go lower? I think it can. Um, it looks like it's coming up off the bottom. It does. They do have some contracts though. One of the things about them is they do have some contracts. The only problem though is their cash flow. Cash flow is way down. They have had some sales increases, and it is a very interesting product. I agree with this. And they do have, and they do. I mean, our cash flow positive, but it's got a price to earnings ratio of 78. That's a little bit high. I want to watch this one. I think that's kind of where you want to be. I wouldn't buy this one now. I'm not totally counting it out, but PLTR is a watch list. It really is. I mean, I think that's really the case here. I really think it is a watch. Oops. Here we go. I think this one's a watch list here. I really do. I think it's a watch list, and I think you got to be, yeah, a little bit concerned. I think it's definitely a watch list. I wouldn't buy it right now. I wouldn't buy it right now. All right. Well, thanks everybody. I'll be back tomorrow at 5. And I hope everyone's doing well in this kind of very hot summer. Man, it's been hot here in Dallas. I can tell you that. We will be back. One thing is, if you could please smash that like button. That would be really helpful for me, because that helps us get on the in the radar with everyone. So please smash that like button. And we will be back tomorrow again at 5 o'clock. So until then, everybody, happy trading.